Hello, Ow. Hello everybody, my name is Kelsey and we're about to get very, very nerdy with the Try a Chapter Challenge. So today we are going to be doing another edition of the Try a Chapter Challenge. I really enjoyed doing this, I don't even remember, it was a few months ago. I did like a romance edition of this, and so I had a couple of editions kind of in the back of my head. So today we're going to be doing the Unhaul edition, which basically is me reading 5 books, the first chapter of 5 books, and deciding on if I want to keep it or not. So all of these are on here for different reasons, which we'll talk about when we get to those books. I would like to pass them on to someone else, or, you know, just kind of like get some of my shelf space back. So first off, I understand that it's pretty hard to decide if a book is going to be good or not based on the first chapter. I get that. But these are things that I haven't had any desire to pick up since I think I bought them. So yeah, it's more of, you know, I want my shelf space back to give to things that I'm actually going to read, or, you know, give these to other people who will enjoy them more than me. So there's a reason that I've decided these are already like on their way out. It's just, this is going to be the deciding factor or not. Also, if any of these books are your favorites, or if you know my reading tastes and you think that I would really enjoy them, please let me know in the comments. I usually unhaul them in the sense of they go off these shelves, they go hide downstairs for however many weeks, months it is until we go to our used bookstore, and then when we go to the used bookstore, they come with us. So, very chill vibes today. As you can see, we're in the chair today, but I hope you guys enjoy. So, let's talk about the first one. I realized that I've picked books from all different genres, so there's like a wide spectrum happening here. So the first book that's on this list is My So-Called Bollywood Life by Nisha Sharma. From what I've read of this author, I have enjoyed the little bit I've read. I haven't actually finished one of her books, but I was reading one of her adult books that I'm still in the middle of, and really enjoyed it. But the reason this is on this list is I picked this up, and I picked this up a while ago, and I've been going through this phase of YA contemporary does not do it for me right now, especially YA romance. So I think that's what this is. I'm not sure if I'm going to love this or not, which is why it's on this list, because again, trying to get some shelf space back, and I'm not sure I'll ever actually get to this book. So we're going to take a look and see how long the first chapter is. It's about 15 pages or so. Oh, and there's a baby prologue as well. So we'll read the prologue and the first chapter, and I'll let you know what I think. What is this book even about? It follows a girl named Winnie that's convinced this guy is her soulmate, but he falls for somebody else or something. I don't even know. So it follows Winnie, who's obsessed with Bollywood movies, and she was told by a pandit that she would find the love of her life before her 18th birthday. And there's a guy named Raj that meets all the qualifications, but she comes back from film camp during the summer to find that her boyfriend of 3 years is hooking up with somebody else, and that he was named chair of the student film festival. So she's very bitter about all of this. And then there's this guy named Dev who's a fellow film geek and is trying to help her out or something. I'm not sure. I mean, it sounds good, but we'll see. Let's have a quick read, and let's see how it goes. Okay, so I read the first chapter, and I really like Nisha Sharma's writing style. I think she's very funny. It gives me the same feelings of, what was that book that I read, Kate in Waiting? It was kind of funny like that. So like basically this book starts with Winnie, and she is behind, I believe it's her house, and she's digging a hole. And literally the first sentence in the first chapter is hilarious. It says, according to Google, a grave is supposed to be 6 feet deep, but Winnie Mehta didn't want to put that much effort into digging. Besides, it wasn't as if she was dumping an actual body or anything. So basically, she has come back from camp, and found out that her boyfriend that she'd asked to go on a break with took that as a breakup and started dating another girl. And so she's a little bitter about all of that because technically they hadn't broken up yet. And so her best friend shows up and she's basically gone to his house, stolen all of the Bollywood movies that she has gifted him, and is now taking a hole for them and hiding them in it. And so it's just the two friends digging this hole and talking about it, and like we get a bunch of backstory on her. She is I believe a senior. She's about to start her senior year. The prologue is an article that she wrote. She started a blog where she reviews a bunch of Bollywood movies, and so it's the very first blog post where she's like talking about it, and that was 3 years prior, and then now they're talking about school. And she is going to be co-film club, I think it's film club, captain, presidents with him, and so she's not looking forward to being at school with everything. Do I think it's worth holding on to? Maybe. I haven't fully decided yet. It could be cute. I could see it being really cute. Again, I like Nisha Sharma's writing style. I think it's quite funny. But is that going to outweigh the school setting? I don't know. I think this might go downstairs and we'll make a decision later, but I think it might go just because I don't know how I'm going to feel about the romance aspects of it. But the writing is really good, so I don't know. I'm a little on the fence about this one, but this is a maybe. This is a maybe right now. The second book is a fantasy book, and that is Enchantee by Gita Trelease. Although I do have the audiobook of this on Audible, and I think it has been titled to be All That Glitters or something like that. It says Love, Magic, Revolution. I think this takes place in France during the Revolutionary War, when magic is a no-no. And so we follow our main character, Camille, who is trying to provide for her younger sister and her brother, and they're relying on magic. And she becomes part of Louis the 16th's court and Marie Antoinette. So the court part intrigues me, but I've had it on my shelves for so long that I'm not even sure how I'm going to feel about it. So these are very, very short chapters. There's like 80 chapters in this book, so I'm probably going to read a couple because they're only a couple of pages. So I give myself about maybe the first 3 chapters, because that'll put me at about 15 pages. So that'll give me some idea of this book. So this is the next one we're going to go into, and let's see if it's worth it. Okay, so I only read the first 2 chapters, which got me to page 8, but I already like it, and I'm going to hold on to it. I don't know, there's just something about the idea of Marie Antoinette that sounds really interesting. Nothing particularly exciting happened in the first 2. The first chapter followed this guy who was a candle maker for Marie Antoinette, and he discovers, like, he's taking money out to, like, he's going to go deliver candles to one of the noblemen, and he's taking, like, money out of his purse, wherever he keeps it, and it like starts vibrating in front of him and changes into like a button, and then he remembers her coming in to basically buy candles. And then the second chapter starts with her, who's Camille, and she's in a baker's shop, and so she's buying bread, and then she goes and buys wine. She's like buying a couple of things here and there, and she's holding this basket of candles, and she's got money in her pocket, and she's thinking about hoping that it's not going to turn back into what it was before she can spend it. And then that's really about it. That's nothing crazy exciting, but just like the air of this book and the idea of it being set in a historical setting, I really like. And I don't know, there's just something that's very historical and fantastical about it, and I'm already intrigued. So yeah, I'm gonna actually hold on to this one. That one proved quite well, actually. The third book is a sci-fi, and that is the first in the Aurora cycle, Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. It says here they're not the heroes we wanted, they're just the ones we could find. Now this is, I believe, a completed trilogy at this point, but it's their most recent one after the Illuminae files, and I really enjoyed the Illuminae files, but I think I liked it because not only was the story good, it was also multimedia, and this one I bought just because I liked the authors, but I haven't had any desire to pick it up, so I'm going to read the first chapter just to see if it's worth it to continue. I know this follows a guy named Tyler, who's the star pupil, and he's part of this academy that are being assigned their first missions, and he's like, I think the best, so he should have his first pick, but he runs into this girl who, like, I don't know, something happens, and he, like, misses the ceremony, so he's late, and so he gets the, like, what's left, and they go on adventures, I think. I don't know. It just sounds, like, it sounds interesting, but I don't know if that's going to be anything crazy. So, the first chapter is 17 pages long. It looks like it switches points of view, but the first chapter does follow Tyler. So let's give it a try and see what happens. It might be worth it. I don't know. Okay. So, I just read the first chapter of Aurora Rising, and I like it. The main character is just Tyler. I know it's multiple perspectives as I'm, like, going through this book. I'm, like, scrolling through, wow. Flipping through, the chapters are titled with different characters, so obviously different characters are going to have different, or there's different perspectives in here. There also is an aspect of multimedia, because we do have, like, chats like this every few pages or so. Most of it is prose and stuff like that, but every once in a while you do get a chat. And I don't know, I kind of like it. I think I'm going to hold on to it, and it might just be because I'm in a sci-fi mood right now after doing my BookTube Made Me episode 3 with G. I'm just kind of feeling it, you know? So, I don't know, I'm kind of interested. And I like the writing, it's pretty funny. I haven't read anything by these authors that's not the Illuminae files. I've only read that, and that was basically all multimedia aspects to it, so there wasn't any kind of, like, narration style that I could see was one person's or the other. So I'm interested to see how they write, because I really feel like I don't know how they write. But I am interested, so I think I'm going to hold on to that one for when I'm in a sci-fi mood. So yeah, surprisingly, I thought that would be one of the ones that I decided to get rid of, but I'm actually interested in that one. The next one I'm going to do is a thriller, and that is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. It says, "You'd kill to be on it." And this is basically a wedding in a remote Irish island, and it follows 5 perspectives. And there's a secret. They all have a motive, but only one person's a murderer. So basically it's this wedding, and they're trying to figure out. Someone does something. We don't know what it is. I know it's in, like, a bunch of different perspectives. I do believe the chapters are relatively short. So let's see. The first chapter, so we've got a prologue of sorts. And then the first chapter ends on page 7. So I think we're going to read the prologue and the first chapter, see how it is. I got this one a while ago, because I thought it sounded interesting, but I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about it, because I am a chicken, and I'm afraid that I'm going to be afraid. So let's see what happens. Okay, so I've read the prologue of sorts in the first chapter. So this book, like I said, is a multi point of view book. We have the point of view of the bride, the +1, the best man, the wedding planner, and the bridesmaid. So the book starts with, it says the wedding night now. So it kind of starts in, like, the present, and it's they're at the wedding. It's like they've just cut the cake and everything, and the lights go out, which they've done because there's a huge storm. But they go out for longer than expected, then they come back on and everyone's okay, and then there's a scream from outside the tent. And that's where it ends. And then it goes to the day before the wedding, and it's in the perspective of the wedding planner. She's just kind of like thinking through things before the wedding. So not a whole lot of plot or really anything to base it on. However, I'm not really enjoying the author's writing style. I know, again, not a whole lot to base it on, but it just, I don't know. Do I think this might be a good book? Maybe, but just based on the first couple of chapters, I mean, I'm interested, but I'm not interested enough to like really care. So I think I'm gonna unhaul this one. I've had it for a while. I was really trying to get into thrillers, and I just never gave this one a try. But with that being said, I think it's a writing style thing. I don't think I would jive well with this story. Like, it could be a good story plot-wise, but as far as the writing, I'm like, this is eh. So yeah, I think I'm going to say no to this one. It might be good, who knows, but that one's gonna officially go. And the very last book is another fantasy book, I think, and that is The Cold in Her Bones, and this is by Peter Nell Van Arsdale. And this one is about demons, I think. I remember it being about a girl named Mila, and it says, Mila knows two things are true. Demons are real, and fear will keep her safe. Follows her, and this girl named Iris shows up, and she's got a secret. And so, like, demons start showing up. I don't really know what to expect with this one, but it's got a prologue as well as a first chapter. So let's see. Well, actually, the prologue's pretty... Oh, wow, the prologue's pretty long. Okay, so we're just going to read the prologue because the prologue is 16 pages. Oh, and the first chapter is literally just these, how to protect your home from demons. It's 4 steps. So, let's see. I don't really know what to expect with this one. I liked the cover, but I don't know. I don't really know. Let's see. Okay, so I've read the prologue, like I said. So it's like a fairy tale origin kind of story. We follow a girl named Hulda, maybe, and her sister is like, has this perfect hair. Her mother loves her sister's hair, takes good care of her, and not of this girl. This girl has very unruly, curly, dark hair. And so she goes out and she hangs out in the yard, and she makes friends with the snakes, and they become her saving grace. And this boy stumbles upon her while she's playing with some snakes, and just kind of like letting them kind of crawl on her arms and stuff, and freaks out and starts stomping them. And she freaks out because her friends are dying and like screams at him. And so she comes home that night, and he's there with his parents and her sister, and basically like her parents promise that she'll never leave the house again. So they basically lock her in the house. She's never allowed to leave. She does have one green snake that like lives in her hair that's like her friend. And then one night somehow her family discovers that the snake is in there, and they kill it. And so then she is overtaken by this like burning sensation, and it feels like there's like a fire inside her. And so a midwife comes and says that it's a demon fire, and so they take her out into the woods in the snow and basically leave her for 3 days. And then she shows back up, and she's no longer a person. She's like all snake. I don't really know how that works. And she curses the town and goes away. And then the Chapter 1 says to protect your home from demons, and it's got like steps of it. So it's like, if you see a snake, kill it, then burn it, pour salt on all of the open spaces, stay inside after dark, and pray. And so clearly this story, however real it is what started the town. Like kind of this feels like a very religious town because they talk about going to church and everything. And so this story is what scared this town into probably hiding away. So am I interested in this story like from this point? Yes, because I'm not really sure where we could go. I'm sure there's a very logical explanation as to what happened to this girl and like why she was befriending snakes and why she like could claim that she could kind of understand them. And we're going to learn it following our main character Mila and this other girl Iris who shows up. I think I'm going to hold on to this one. This is a very nice, easy, simple, short book to kind of throw in here or there if you want something shorter. My biggest thing was I noticed with all the other books that, like, I noticed that I was reading, that I was interested but not like fully consumed, but for some reason I completely like blanked out the rest of the world and was so focused on the story. And I think it's the writing. I think this author has a very captivating yet not fantasy, like fairy tale feeling writing style. So I really enjoyed this, oddly enough. I don't know where the stories can go because, like, snakes are not my favorite thing to read about. I'm a little not excited about that, but there's something about this that just sounds interesting. So I think I am going to keep this one as well. So what do we learn in this video? We learned that these 3 books, Enchantee, The Cold in Her Bones, and Aurora Rising, are actually, I'm interested in them based on the first chapter or 2. For different reasons. It is good to know that these 3 that I was like, maybe do I really want to hold on to them? I think that they'll be books that I enjoy. So just finding the time for them is probably going to be the issue. But good thing is that we do have a couple things to unhaul. I was successful in figuring out if these are worth it or not. We're going to get rid of the guest list. Again, the plot might be fine, but the writing style is just not doing it for me. And I'm going to go ahead and put this one downstairs as well. I mean, I might hold on to it, and this might be something that I bring back later, but I'm just kind of like holding on to it just to hold on to it at this point, and I feel like this is a story that could be enjoyed by many other people, and so why am I holding on to it when somebody else could really enjoy it? So I think I'm going to also put these 2 downstairs to unhaul. So that was successful as far as trying to get rid of some things, as well as trying to find things that I might actually really enjoy. Like, I do think, like, my interest has been piqued again in these 3 books, which is good because, like, they've been on my list for a while, so maybe I'll actually get to them here recently. Or soon. Maybe not recently, but soon. But that's really all I've got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this kind of unhaul project kind of thing. I really enjoy the first chapter challenge. I think they're kind of fun. So please let me know if you've heard of any of the books that I mentioned today. Is there any? Should I keep these? I mean, I don't know, but if you make a very good case for them, let me know. And if you've read any of the books, Enchantee, Cold in Her Bones, or Aurora Rising, and you think I should give them a try, let me know. I don't know. I'm oddly excited about this, especially Enchantee and Cold in Her Bones. I don't know why, but those 2 are really calling to me. But if you like this video, and I very much hope that you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you would like to be part of this awesome growing family. I've also got all my social media down there, as well as other fun bookish links, so don't forget to check all that out, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! It was a very dramatic ending. I don't really know why.